Do you sometimes have work items you don't want every agent to see? Let me show you all about work item security. Before we jump into that, please check out the links below to some great learning courses, including one on the ACP 420 Jira Service Management. All right, let's get back to it. Typically in Jira Service Management, my whole team can see all of the work items, and this is good. We can all support each other and see what's going on. Sometimes, however, there are environments or instances where I don't want every agent to see every work item. I do have some options. I could make a whole separate space and only add certain agents, but more commonly, I don't want to make a whole space. I want to restrict just one or a group of work items to just a small group of individuals. This is where work item security comes in. This allows me to apply an additional level of permissions on particular work items that can do things like prevent folks from seeing them. Keep in mind, this does not prevent a customer from entering the work item. That is a different feature. Instead, work item security is concerned with restricting internal access to the work item. Now, one thing we do need to keep in mind, space admins can assign the level of security to a work item, but we cannot create new levels and we cannot associate roles or permissions with that work item security. For example, I may have a human resources project that has a level 1 and level 2 security. These are more sensitive. Level 1 security has to be set up by my Jira admin. They will define the name, and they will define what roles or groups of individuals have access to that level. They would then do the same thing for level 2. We'll jump into this live in a moment so you can see exactly what this looks like. But just keep in mind that space admins cannot make their own security levels or change them. We're reliant on the Jira admin to help us. Once those levels exist, however, we as space admins can go in and see what they are, and more importantly, we can see who has access to them. This will typically be a project role. Maybe I have a special project role that can see higher sensitivity tickets. Or maybe it's a group that my org admin has created. Employee relations officer. Anyone in that group gets access to these work items. This allows me as the space admin to focus on which particular work items or groups of work items need to be restricted, while allowing my Jira admin to focus on making it repeatable across different projects. So again, work item security allows me to restrict access to a work item on the agent or internal side, and can be a very powerful tool in ensuring compliance and that sensitive topics aren't accidentally shared with too many folks. So now that we understand the concept, let's jump into Jira and I'll show you exactly what this looks like. In this example, we're going to add security levels to this particular work item. First, I need to go into my space settings, and I'm going to look for the work item security menu under access. Now, as a space admin, I will be able to view what access levels are available. So in this case, I can see there is one called HR team, all default, employee relations team, triage team, and US benefits team. There is a description for each of these that has been provided by my administrator. And then over on the right, I can see a list of users, groups, and roles that get access to this level. As a space admin, this is important for me to understand because this will tell me who can see it, people in this particular group, whoever reported it, a certain role, etc. This is a very common challenge. If someone does not understand how this works, they'll be frustrated they can't see that work item. Note that as the space admin, I cannot change these levels. These are controlled by my Jira admin. So if I need to modify these, maybe add one, change the name, adjust who's in it, I'll have to work with that app admin, the Jira admin, to make those changes. One other important thing to note is there is a default level. The HR team all will automatically be applied to every work item in this project. There does not necessarily have to be a default, but it's important to note if there is one because this will be applied to every work item in the space, regardless of anything else. Now that I know what security there is, I'm going to open up my request types menu, find the request type I want to adjust the security on, and then click on the restrictions menu at the top. This can allow me to restrict who can make requests with this request type, maybe only certain groups. However, I can also restrict who can view work items. And this is where I can pull in my security. I can always use the default, or I can change the security level to something else for this particular request type. Maybe in this case, I need the employee relations team to see them. This allows me to control who on the agent side is able to view work items. Once I apply this, any existing work item that meets this criteria that is in that request type will have this access applied. And again, I can see who can see this by going back to work item security, looking for employee relations team, and checking who shows up in this last column. In this case, my HR group, the reporter, and a specific space role. So that was work item security. Again, this is something we can use to further restrict access to individual work items within our space. This is not intended to be something I necessarily apply to every work item. If I find myself doing that, I might make a different space. However, in environments where I have some specific items that need extra security, or I have levels of security, again, I use HR as an example, but as things get more sensitive, we need more security around them, this is a very useful feature. Please just keep in mind that we as space admins can set the levels, but we cannot create or edit them. We have to work with our Jira admin for that. I'm curious what you think though. Do you use work item level security? Drop a comment below on your thoughts about it, your frustrations, or how you've used it. Also, check out the links down below. I'm working on an ACP 420 Jira Service Management course to teach you everything you need to know about JSM. There'll be a link down there either to get on the waitlist or to the course itself. But also look out for some other free content, other videos, as well as my Discord server where you can share ideas. Also, consider becoming a channel member. You'll get early access to videos, a couple other perks like special emojis, and other things that I'll be publishing from time to time. Thank you so much for learning with me. I really hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again here very soon.
Me again. Thank you so much for watching that video. Check out more here and pop down into the description. I've got a blog with weekly content. I also have a lot of online learning on Atlassian stuff and project management. And if you need personalized training for you and your team, reach out and let me know. I'll be happy to get something set up for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here again soon.